Hey team, it's day 26. I hope you guys are doing great. Wanting to jump into the 6 goals like we normally do right away. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about flexibility. My son and his girlfriend were around and she was teasing him about how inflexible he is. He can't even bend over and touch his toes. She used to be a pole vaulter and things, and for some reason she can go down and still touch her palms to the ground, and I'm more flexible even than he is. So I thought, it's because of my kid. It just rang in my head like, hey, is flexibility a marker of overall health or mortality or anything like that? So we'll jump into that after we get through the 6 goals, but let's jump into it. So I was 222 this morning, 221.4. Now, I think I might navigate in that 222 to 220 spot for a little while. I just feel that I'm getting tighter on my calories, but my sleep, has been up and down, and I did have some protein off last week, a few red days. So I want to make sure that I'm consistent with everything throughout this week, and that weight to continue to go back down. So 222, 21.24, so a little more calories yesterday, but nothing that I'm really worried about. 132 ounces of water, getting that, 7.5 hours of sleep, 50 minutes of activity, got back into my lifting a little more, and 219 grams of protein. So didn't have to use any red, which I love, and we'll go from there. So what about flexibility? Is it a marker for overall health? Now, you could say yes, but from a mortality perspective, there's not a ton of data. I didn't find any that said that, my son who's not as flexible as his girlfriend, one's going to live longer than the other based on flexibility. So I didn't find that. Actually, nothing conclusive on that. But there are 6 real reasons why flexibility is a good thing. So when I talk about flexibility, especially for adults, if you're physically active, you just need to be stretching, whether it's yoga, whether it's just, 3 to 5 minutes of stretching. And as you've heard in the past, I hope, and if you haven't, static stretching, so just starting cold and just starting to stretch isn't probably as good as dynamic stretching or being a little warmed up when you go to stretch. So let's walk through the 6 benefits of that. There's fewer injuries. So when you do dynamic stretching and yoga and things, your muscles get elongated and it helps you to ensure that you're always kind of ready and flexing and stretching those muscles so that you're not going to walk down the stairs and tweak something just for the simple fact that you were walking down some stairs or doing something a little more strenuous. Stretching does help with fewer injuries. Less pain overall. So if you're keeping your body loose and you're keeping your body in good stretching mode, I guess is the not lack of better terminology, you tend to have less overall body pain. And that makes sense because my hammies get really tight or my hamstrings get really tight, gives me a little bit of back pain. Doing more stretches with that and focusing on my core, I've noticed that I have less back pain than I used to. When improved posture, this is a really big one. I've heard stories and even watched a little story about a physical therapist that started doing yoga with one of her older patients that had like almost a hunchback and straightened it out. So it's kind of crazy. So improved posture is another one. Greater strength. This was one that one of my buddies who played football in college always, strength and conditioning coaches always harped on flexibility. He was super strong. But making sure that you're stretching those muscles and keeping them, always warm, always in shape, ready to go from a flexibility perspective, you can use more of that tension that you have for strength. So it's going to produce greater strength overall. Improve physical performance. If you have stretching and a little bit of flexibility, you can move your body different ways. Like I said, walking down the stairs, it just keeps your muscles a little more used to being tweaked and stretched. So you have a greater chance of overall physical performance. And the last thing is a state of mind, especially as we get older. When we do some stretching, it gives us a chance to think and reflect, especially from yoga. I don't do yoga yet, but I really do want to start. And I have heard from a lot of folks that the stretching and the yoga is something that they really look forward to every day from a peace of mind perspective. So, you know what? 6 different reasons from an overall physical health perspective that, stretching and flexibility is a good thing. But as far as mortality is concerned, my son and his girlfriend, there's not going to be any difference because of flexibility. There are comorbidities or co-markers for overall health. So hopefully you guys are doing great. Thank you so much, as always, for supporting me. If you have any questions or comments, put them below, and I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow.